abundance. I'm Michelle J. Lamont, your manifestation master and guide. Ever since 2016, I've been obsessively dedicating my life to uncovering, dissecting, and analyzing every aspect of the practices and modalities in which we call manifestation. You see, you are truly more powerful than you can even imagine and fully capable of manifesting miracles on the daily. I'm going to teach you how to attract a life beyond your wildest dreams using your own divine power. So let's get started manifesting your miracles right now.
I really just want to get into it because I think this topic needs your full attention. I think you need to hear this from the bottom of my heart. You're not broken, you're expanding. And this feeling, the tight chest, your sweaty palms, overthinking, this is not our body betraying us. It's our soul trying to get your attention. If this is your first time listening, you are listening to Manifesting Miracles with host Michelle Juanita Lamont. That's me. This podcast is ranked top 1%. That's right. You have found your angels and your guides have made you open up the podcast that out of 3.5 million options, 3.5 million other options, I'm top 1%, and that means that your life is about to fucking change. You're listening to the breadcrumbs, you're following the trail of clues, and it led you right here to me. So sit back, get ready, because we're going to create a plan for your panic, and we're going to make sure that you make anxiety a tool, not a deficit, okay? So today, I want this episode to be about helping you change the way you think about anxiety forever. I have been somebody who's been plagued with anxiety my entire life. I have an unbalanced root system. I have addiction tendencies. I have overthinking tendencies. I have ADHD, a little bit of a little other challenges, learning challenges. And so anxiety is always been something that I've used against me instead of for me. And I really wanted to talk about how I've transmuted this and allowed myself to use this fantastic gift of anxiety as a portal to manifest. So here we go. Because I really want you to understand that the way that you think about anxiety has been positioning you as if you're the problem and you're not. And because you're not anxious, you are activating, okay? Your anxiety is a form of activation, meaning it's your whole body, the whole frequency, the quantum field of energy shifting and shaping and shaking and saying, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, because you're right in the middle of what I call a manifestation surge. And your nervous system is just trying to keep up. So let's break it down. Let's decode the chakras, realign your power grid, and show you exactly how to move through anxiety and into your next level timeline, because that's what I want for you. The whole purpose of this podcast, yes, I would love to see you in one of my classes. You should be an SSOM. If you're not an SSOM, you're crazy, because the first month is free. Yes, I would love to coach with you one-on-one. But one day, someone is going to listen to this podcast, and I will just be a voice in the ether. So these podcasts have to mean something to me in order to be beneficial to you. I make each and every one of these as if I was coaching you, as if your angels and your guides said, this one right here, Michelle, speak to them. So I really want to see you in that next level timeline. And yes, I'm going to give you the tools. Yes, I'm going to give you the science. Yes, we're going to break down the chakras and the real stuff that you need to hear. So light a candle, get a pad and paper out or your notes app, and let's go. because fear does have a frequency. If you've been listening to the last 6 months of this podcast, you've heard me battle many different fears. Fear of homelessness, which I spent one night in my car with the dogs. Fear of all of my possessions, everything. I just made the last payment on my super nice couch. It was like a $7,000 couch, washed away. Fear of never living in a place that felt safe again. Fear of being alone. Fear, 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 fear. And that fear factor had to be transmuted. So all of that anxiety, all of that energy, I knew was going to help me manifest things. And as you've heard, it created a manifestation breakthrough. And if you haven't listened to the last 3 episodes, go listen to the last 3 episodes. But I want you to understand that anxiety isn't the block. It's the way forward. And when you're like, for me, I live in Florida. So when the phone buzzes, it means that a storm is coming. And that's exactly what your body is. When your body is buzzing and vibrating and you're ping-ponging all over the place. And, you can just hear the Doechii anxiety song coming in, like anxiety. I'm not going to try to do Doechii. But you know what I'm talking about. You feel that, that vibration happening. That is your body saying, this is a quantum leap. The quantum leap is close. This is where you get to be brave. This is where you take those chances. This is where you show up for yourself. Don't cower. Don't go down, because it's important to remember that your anxiety isn't random. Say it with me. My anxiety isn't random. What it is, it's an energy overload. It's like your body's way of saying that the fear that it experiences is making it not feel safe. And I don't feel safe enough to expand this big. It's like, wait a second, what if I can't pay the car payment? What if I can't pay the house payment? Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. That's the portal. And so there's this little thing above each of your ears. It's a small little gland called the amygdala. And the amygdala, it is the center, the tattletale center. It's the fear center. It reminds you that you are in trouble. Okay. So the amygdala controls like fight, flight, fear, procrastination, overthinking, fornicate. There's 7 main triggers that the amygdala covers. So every time you step out of your comfort zone, because our brain just wants equilibrium. It just wants to, whether it's sad, it wants to be sad all the time. If it's happy, it wants to be happy all the time. Whatever it is, it just wants to maintain. But anxiety is proving to you that the quantum field is shifting. And so when you try to call in $1 million life with a nervous system that still looks like you're broke and unsafe, your body hits the brakes. It says, wait a second, you're over here trying to call in $1 million life and we can barely make this car payment. What are you doing? And the universe is like, but baby, I got you. And so the 2 worlds collide. And so you give up, or you feel small, or you feel like you're doing it wrong, or you feel like you're not saying the right thing, or you're broken in some way. Please remember, you are not broken. You never have been. You're just out of alignment. And when that anxiety creeps in and your whole mind is saying, don't do it, that's the moment you have to do it. You have to. That's the test. Did you sign up for my class? That's a test. Did you sign up for SSOM? That was a test. Did you sign up for one-on-one coaching? That's a test. Did you leave the place that you live and move to a new city? That's a test. Did you break up with the bad relationship? That's a test. Did you stay in the bad relationship? Failed test. Stay in the city? Failed test. Didn't join SSOM? Failed test. So when your amygdala is overpowered, it's your brain's alarm system. And when it senses a threat, even imagined, it floods you with cortisol. And all of a sudden, all you can think is the worst case scenario. So what in our energy field governs that in our body? Well, outside of our brain, it's going to be our chakra system. And our chakras are 7 different, well, depending on what part of the world you're from, you could say 8, 10, 11. But for us, we usually go by the 7 main chakras. It's the root chakra, how you were rooted, how you were raised. It's the root chakra that governs safety. I hope you can hear my birds in the background. Maybe I should record these outside. These birds are just fantastic. And so the root chakra governs safety. And if your anxiety feels like dread, if your anxiety is insomnia, if your anxiety is money, it's a root chakra that is imbalanced. And I want you to hear me and stop right now, pause, hear me when I say this. Hear me when I say this. Type this into your phone, put it on the cover of your phone. You're not spiraling. Your vibe is just not grounded. You're not spiraling. Your vibe's just not grounded. You're not spiraling. Your vibe is just not grounded. So let's talk about chakras and chaos, okay? You're not overthinking. You're just overstimulated. And the chakra system is not just spiritual. It's a roadmap to how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And it works every single time exactly the same. Most anxiety isn't mental. It's energetic. It's your energy. It's your energy. It's your energy. And if your sacral, which is right below your belly button, if you want to touch it right there, that's your sacral chakra. Your sacral is blocked. Your creativity feels stuck. You can't trust your emotions. Like, am I being too emotional? Am I not being emotional enough? What is the heck is going on? And if this is what's happening, your solar plex is off. You doubt yourself. You feel like you're faking it, like you're a fraud. You're never going to be that version of you. That version of you doesn't exist. And you really have a hard time making decisions. So you're flip-flopping. You act like you're just like a triple Gemini. You're over here going like, I want a hot sub. No, I want a cold sub. I want water. No, I want a Pepsi. You know, so you're always doubting yourself and you're having really hard time making decisions. This is your sacral chakra and top of the anxiety. So here's a real life breakdown for you. If you feel like crying all the time or you just feel numb, that's your sacral chakra. If you are in constant people pleasing, if you're indecisive or you need somebody's approval, you need this person to like you, you need this person to say they're proud of you. Unfortunately, that's your solar plex. That's going to be right above your navel. Because people pleasing is just learned lying. If you're a people pleaser, you're a fucking liar. You're a big ass liar. And you want to know why? Because you don't believe that you're enough. And so you put it into your reality that you have to be like them and you have to make them happy instead of just being exactly the magical, mystical, wonderful, creative, divinely blessed person that you've always been. So let's say that you're feeling paranoid about money or about your house or quote unquote being found out. Root chakra. Okay. You know, I want to remind you, I recently read a story, a Harvard study. In this story, they referred to it a Harvard study. And in the study, it said regulating your nervous system improves your focus, improves your memory, and long-term manifestation success. Why? Because when you're out of alignment and you're triggered one way or another, that trauma hasn't healed. And therefore, all of these other root causes, like your root chakra, your solar plex chakra, your sacral chakra, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye chakra, your crown chakra, all of those are points of energy that cannot project and create a reality in which the timeline you're in collapses. So I want you to affirm something with me now. My body isn't freaking out. It's preparing for a bigger field of abundance. My body isn't freaking out. It's preparing for a bigger field of abundance. My body isn't freaking out. It is preparing me for a bigger field of abundance. But what about the plan? Let's come up with a little plan. Now that you understand this is a superpower, now that you understand we need to utilize this, we don't need to avoid it. You are not broken and you don't need to be fixed. You need to unplug and detach from broken systems. We need to recreate a morning routine for you. You need to have a daily mantra. You need to be using your astrology. You need to heal those wounds. But let's talk about a plan. Because here's the secret. Fear just needs a plan. Your brain is going into anxiety because you don't have a plan. So, what are we talking about? You can't logic your way out of a panic attack. You just can't. And somebody can't tell you to calm down because that won't work either. But you can create a ritual like I have. Get a dry erase board or even a journal. Go to the dollar store. They have dry erase boards there and you can use it over and over and over again. So get something like that and write down, what is my anxiety trying to prepare me for? What is it trying to tell you? What is it saying you don't have a plan here? This isn't resolved. You don't feel confident in this area. You're not going to manifest what you think you're going to manifest. And when your chakras are in alignment, you feel the clarity. You don't have to ask a million people their opinion. You don't have to ruminate over it for hours and hours and hours. You don't have to go check everything. You don't just talk about it. All right? So once you've determined on the dry erase board, what is it trying to teach me? The next thing I want you to do is do a grounding ritual. If you can, I want you to take off your shoes and your socks and stand barefoot. Stomp your feet 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And say aloud, I'm not under attack. I'm under a transformation. I'm not under attack. I'm under a transformation. And then tap your sacral. Remember, it's just below your belly button and breathe into it. Tap that sacral. Shout and stomp. And then say, I trust myself to lead. When you're done, I trust myself to lead. I trust myself to lead. Because studies show that when we create a physical ritual, it creates new neural pathways that reduce that cortisol and allow your brain to calm the fuck down and the anxiety to be a sidestepper and you to manifest like a master. You to manifest like a master. But you can't manifest with a blocked grid. So you're not manifesting what you want because your power grid is completely fucking glitching. It's just, this happened to me the other day. I was trying to get into receiver mode. Everybody's in ask, but how often do you practice receiver mode? One of my favorite ways to practice receiver mode is through orgasms, the O method, masturbation. And so I bought a new vibrator. I was like, oh, new house, new vibrator. Let me get this party going. Well, there was a glitch in my network and it ordered the same vibrator twice. So I got 2 for the price of 1. So one's going to be, a white elephant gift or something, right? But I was in such a receiver mode and I was in such a pleasure mode. The universe is like, hey, here's an extra vibrator. And when I called Amazon, they were like, nah, babe, it's yours. I'm like, wow. Oh, I guess I need another vagina. No, I'm just kidding. But the point is that when your power grid is glitching, these things are going to happen. And you can't call in your divine love with a sacral chakra that's full of shame. You can't be shameful about the way that you treat yourself, even if it's within your own fingers. And you can't receive abundance when your root chakra is still in fight or flight mode, okay? And manifestation isn't about affirmations. It's about regulation. So what does this mean? Let me give you just a little quick, how do I remember this? What does your root chakra do? Your root chakra, it went like, you don't trust your next paycheck energy. I want you to ground and move. You're having that off balance root chakra energy. Let's move. Let's talk about a scenario with your sacral chakra. You don't let yourself rest or feel pleasure. What's the solution? Create. Stop being such a fucking consumer and start being a creator. You came here to be a creator, not a consumer. That's where everybody gets this process wrong. And then let's say that you're a people pleaser. You can't say no. You don't feel worthy. What's the solution? Boundaries. And start writing out power affirmations like no is a complete sentence. I don't have to explain myself. Things like that, okay? This is not your failure. This is your upgrade alert. Anxiety is your upgrade alert. And the next version of you, the next version of you is, the next version of you is already waiting in the wings for you to collapse these broken timelines. But you've got to plug in to the right power grid. It won't work any other way. It won't work any other way. Now, I want you to lean in and listen to me carefully. I want you to lean in and listen to me carefully, my love. It's me, Michelle. If this cracked something open in you, even just a little bit, you may need to be in my April chakra class. It might be the perfect time for you to step up and step forward. In fact, I just saw that Dr. Joe Dispenza just wrapped a 6-city tour only on the chakra system. And I was like, wow, I set my calendar a year in advance. And the chakras are so important that he just did a whole weekend. I think it's $10,000 to do one of his weekend classes. With me, let me tell you something. I'm taking you there for a fraction of the cost. And it's 7 live group sessions, our intro on Sunday, and 6 workshops in that very protected space. And you can do payment plans, and it's like $300. And you can pay it over 4 months or 5 months. You can just pay like $60 and get enrolled right now. We start April 27th, 2025. We go chakra by chakra, from the root of the problems to the crown chakra, where you and your divine abundance is walking hand in hand. Do you hear me? And I want you to understand how important this is. We're going to be doing whiteboard sessions. I'm going to be teaching you rituals. We're going to be going behind the science. And every single person is going to manifest and learn how to manifest in real time. I'm going to show you the tricks behind the curtains. I'm going to show you the things that we can't go over in a podcast because you have to see it. I have to explain it to you. I have to break it down. And you're going to be meeting people from around the world. And you get 1 month of SSOM free with the workshop. So here's what you don't need. You don't need another broken affirmation, and you don't need another quote. Here's what you do need: a complete frequency upgrade, right? This is your nervous system upgrade. This is your manifestation blueprint, and it's your time. I want you to go right over to the show notes and book that 10-minute session with me. I want you to go right over to the show notes and decide what you're going to commit to, how you're going to change your frequency right now. You've heard me give you my steps. You've heard me coach you all the way through. You now know that your anxiety is a superpower, but what are you going to do next? You will never, ever, ever regret investing in yourself. You invest in everybody, your children, your pets, your friends, your family, your work. But when was the last time that you truly and genuinely said, I'm doing this for me? Do this for you, because when you fill your cup, you fill the cup up for everybody in your life, because you can't pour from a broken chakra. You can't manifest when you're blocked. Everybody knows it. Dr. Joe Dispenza just did a whole tour on it. This is one of my favorite classes to teach because it's so powerful and it's so interesting and you learn so quickly. So don't say no to yourself. Stop denying yourself this progress and get started. Sign up right now. You're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it. And if this is your first time listening, my friends, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You are loved. You are known. You are needed. And now, let's end. Let's end like the fantastic divine beings that we are. And 3, 2, 1. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. All right, now go listen to another episode and another episode. And for God's sake, make some kind of change in your life right now, whether it's meditation, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's binging this podcast, one after another, after another, after another, after another. You are loved, you are known, and you are needed. All right, producers, cue that motherfucking music. Until the next time you hit play, baby, I'll be waiting here on standby for you. I love you, I love you, I love you.